Hello, welcome to a brief introductory video about navigating the Stat 200 course here online. I'm your instructor, Brian James. I've been teaching for World Campus now for a year. I actually have been teaching for 27 years total at the Pennsylvania College of Technology in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. The overview is just a simple video to help you navigate the course. This is our course homepage with announcements up top. So as I post announcements, you can see them up here. You can also get push announcements, notifications, and those are done under your account and notifications. That's where you can actually go through and set those up so that you can get them pushed right away, daily, weekly, that type of thing, so that you can see what's going on there. Back in the actual course, the course syllabus, just a brief bio of myself, and then your syllabus for the semester, and then a course schedule, both as PDF files. And underneath there, you have a little bit of an outline of the course schedule. But definitely these two documents are important to look at. Again, the announcements page, only one thing there so far, and that's about online tutoring review. These are the sessions that the TAs at Penn State offer, and they are very good, and I'll keep you up to date with the schedules for them. But you can see when you click on here that we have these starting, and they tell you when they are throughout the week. Very helpful for you. I may also offer live Zoom sessions so that you can interact with me once in a while, but I'm always on discussion boards with you, and we'll answer via email for sure. Let's go to the discussions board first. So the discussions board, each week I'll have a discussion board for that week, and that's a great place for you to interact with your classmates about any kind of course concept or question. I'll also monitor that and certainly give answers, but I'd rather you post here before an email. That way it's not just you and I seeing it, it's the entire class. So this is really the place to start. And then of course this introductions board is one where you will be able to introduce yourself to all of your classmates. The grades, just your standard grade book for a semester. And you can look down through there and see how that is set up. Alright, then the most important part is probably the modules section, where this is set up by the Stat 200 coordinator, Dr. Zimmerman. She does a great job, and then I can tweak it as needed as we go. But for the most part, it's very well organized, and you can see here's Wiley Plus. That's our homework online, and a short video on how to get that started. And then you have access to the ebook with that, and that's great. You can certainly still have the hard copy. The Locke book that we're using, the authors are named Locke. They are very, very pioneering, if you will, in simulation-based instruction. And that's really where this course is going, is to some simulation-based learning of statistics, and then some of the more traditional statistical methods, I would say for the last maybe half to two-thirds of the course. But you want to get started with Wiley Plus for sure. And then there's a lesson 0 here. It doesn't really count for anything, but it's the orientation, and you definitely want to go through this. Each module has a to-do list, and if you just follow those, you really can't get off pace in the course, and that's the number one success predictor, I would say, in distance ed that I've taught over the last 15 to 18 years. Students who stay on schedule and don't try to play catch-up typically do great. So that's something you really want to keep in mind. Try to get some time each day or every other day for stats. The other thing is the schedule that is made up that you will see is very predictable. It's every session, every lesson ends on a Monday evening at midnight. So you have the weekend to work on things if you need to catch up. That's typically, you got to take a quiz, and you also have a lab due each week. But here's the lesson 0 intro, and it's just things about the orientation of the stats department. And it tells you some things about the technology used in the course, that kind of thing. So a very worthwhile first module. And then the actual content of the course will start in lesson 1's module, you'll see here. And most of them look about like this. This has a little extra because we have a survey and an introduction to start. But we'll always have that to-do list. And then we'll have Wiley Plus homework. optional practice, which does not count, but you can do. This homework you can continue to do. And if you do it by the deadline on that Monday night of that certain lessons week, you get full credit, and it's mastery based. So you can go back and continue to do it until you get 100 if you'd like. Afterward, you can always go back throughout the class and update and improve your grade, but you can only get 50% from there on of what you do. So you get penalized a late fee for waiting. And that's reasonable due to you want to do the stuff on time so you're ready for quizzes and tests, etc. And then there's a quiz in each lesson. Those quizzes can be taken twice. And then the higher of the two scores count. So even if you start out with a great score and you just want to see more questions for practice, you can do that. Don't just take the quiz, in my opinion, and then take it right away again. Wait till it's graded. I'll try to grade them as quickly as possible. Most of them are automatically graded for 90% of the questions, I'd say. But then you can remediate and then take the second quiz. So that's something you want to think about and how you're going to space out those two quizzes. Lab assignment in each one where you're going to use Minitab Express to demonstrate the skills that you've learned in that given lesson. And then the discussion board. All right, so that's the primary setup of each and every one of the lessons. Let me show you a to-do list, though. So here's a to-do list, usually with an introduction. That's done by Dr. Zimmerman so that everyone in Stat 200 sees the same introduction. And then the online notes that Penn State provides are incredible. Just a great resource. And when you click on these, you will always see this week's worth of work, and they have embedded videos to show you how to use the technology. It is very, very rare to be asked something in an assessment or a lab that isn't in these online notes and or the videos that are contained in these online notes. So just an absolute great resource, very well done by, again, primarily Dr. Zimmerman, and then I interject as I see fit throughout the semester. So if you go down through these each and every day, or every week, as your time permits, distance ed, you should be, again, very, very successful as far as these modules go. Other ancillary modules you would see is the midterms. So there's 2 midterm exams in the course, and you want to look at those. But those are proctored with Examity, and that is the live proctoring service that we use, and we'll give you a chance to practice that and get that set up as we get closer to midterm exam 1. But then you go back for a few lessons, and then we have midterm exam 2 proctored again as well, and then a follow-up lesson or 2 to end the course with a final exam. Excuse me, that is proctored as well. Okay, so that's kind of a general overview of the course. And if you have any questions, certainly ask. But read the course syllabus to start. It's a very important document, as always. Explains the grading of the course and the weighting of the items in the course. Talks about academic honesty. You definitely want to do your own work. There's many, many searches done and queries to find out if anybody may be cheating or using others' homework, etc. So you want to make sure you're doing your own labs, certainly your own quizzes. And that's what you want to do as an adult learner. You want to learn the material on your own and do your very best. You can actually see over here to the right the weightings for the course. So that Wiley Plus homework and quizzes are each 15% each. Labs 20%. Midterm 30% total. So 15 each. And then the final exam is 20. My last thought for you would be each week what I would do, I think, to be successful as a student is I would look at the course schedule. I would then watch and view the online notes. I think that's very important. Then I would read the text for the extra, the extra content, the depth that you may need. And then I would do the homework to a mastery level that you felt comfortable with. And then if you can do the labs before the quizzes, I think that's the best thing to do. Some students don't choose to do that. If you can get the labs done, they kind of force you into some material that you may have overlooked or whatever. That will set you up well for the quizzes, I believe. And if you kind of keep that ordering, you should be quite successful in Stat 200. I wish you all the best of luck in Stat 200. If you have any questions, use all the resources, and certainly reach out to me, and I'll be glad to help.